we just start off with I want to have a giant self-promotion ask.
Go for it.
So, Al, I get bored of my own content.
I do know that.
Yeah. Because like I've been doing it for 15 freaking years. And sometimes I get bored of doing it. But I think 3 of the best 10 episodes that I have ever done in 15 years are in this next season on the podcast. Like 3, maybe even 4 of the best I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And my blatant ask of the audience is that in the 15 years of me making content, if I have ever helped you, if I have ever pushed your business in the right direction, if I've ever given you advice that was helpful, if you ever got a nugget from one of my episodes, please go subscribe to the capitalism.com YouTube channel. We divorced the personal brand and the capitalism.com podcast into 2 channels a few months ago. And my personal brand, we're popping. Yeah, knuckle up. Yeah, because we're having fun over there. The capitalism.com podcast, where I do all of the interviews, is actually way more work. And it's basically a start over now. And the best interviews I have ever done, 3 of them are coming up in this next season. So I am so proud of what we've put together in these next handful of interviews. And so I just selfishly beg the audience to go subscribe to it because I laid it all on the court. Like I put it all on the court for you guys.
I'm excited to see which ones are your favorite.
Should we just jump into it?
Yeah, you said 3 of them are your favorites.
So the first episode coming up is with Dr. Benjamin Hardy, whose book I read back like 9 years ago. It's sitting up here, and he published a new book called The Science of Scaling. And it was a book that punched me in the face and made me feel convicted. And I could not wait to have him here. I think this episode is one of the best that we've ever done because it challenged me in ways that were uncomfortable. It made me face things about the way I see my businesses and my approach to entrepreneurship that forced me to confront if I was going to make a change or keep going in the direction that I was going. I had a very hard time with that book in the best way possible. Like when someone challenges you to be better and do better and you know you can and all your stuff comes up, that's a good friend or a good book or a good insight. And this book did that for me. And so we kick off with the conversation with Ben Hardy, and people are going to love it or hate it because it's going to bring up their stuff.
I remember sitting behind the camera when we were filming that, and I'm going, oh my gosh, over and over again. He's like, just taking a knife and stabbing you in the chest. Yeah, it's the whole premise of it is relentless focus is what creates greatness. And when he's talking about like Tom Brady as an example of like his only goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, to win Super Bowls.
About the money. He even forfeited his family in service to that goal. Like there's a lot of things there that are like they'll rub you one way or the other, but you can't
leave your wife and children if you want to be great, ladies and gentlemen.
If you want to be great, you gotta obsess. No, I mean, but really,
I did it 3 times. I love my wife and family, and now I'm the president. I just wanted to get a
ruler of the free world. I can't even.
Whose Trump impression is better, Alex or mine?
Not mine. It's not very good.
I think Ryan is the best Trump impression. Everyone knows it. Lots of people are saying it. I'm not saying it, but people are saying it.
The people in their headphones right now, or in their car on the way to work, they're crying because you just did that.
I'm sorry.
Well, Dr. Benjamin Hardy, ladies and gentlemen.
Great episode. Freaking great episode.
Awesome episode.
You have this clip of him saying that entrepreneurs could do 100 times more than what they're already doing if they would just change a couple things. And this one just punched me in the face.
Yeah, my feeling is that people who are very talented, even very talented entrepreneurs, they could be getting 100x the results they are. But it's very difficult to shoot for a goal that's that big. Because that goal will force you to grapple with what I call either what Musk calls false requirements or what others would call hidden commitments or just lesser goals, right? These are lesser goals that I actually think that it's very powerful to set a goal that forces you to look at all your goals and say, why do I have these goals really? That's the sign of a good goal, is that it forces you to look at everything you're doing and say, I have to really dig into the well and say, why am I really doing that?
So that's Ben Hardy. Super nice guy, by the way. We got smoothies after we recorded the podcast. Me, him, and his son. We had a great time. He is just a delight of a human being.
I agree. Super nice guy, very down to earth.
I've read every single one of his books. This one was my favorite. I have Willpower Doesn't Work sitting in front of me. It's like 9 feet away from me right now. Loved that book. I've read every single one of his books, but this one was my favorite by far.
Yeah, agreed.
And then after that, we have
Mike Viskovich.
So Mike and I met in 2018. He was here in this room for a workshop, and he had this tiny little business. And we worked together for a couple days, and then he ended up joining our mastermind. And a couple of insights just triggered something for him. Now he runs, is it a $40 million a year business? Same business, but now it has 20x'd over those handful of years. And so I wanted to say, all right, all of you who have been listening to me for some amount of time, like more than 2 episodes, you know my shtick. You know what I talk about. You know I help people build $1 million businesses, and then I help people scale from there. And until you do it, you tend not to believe it. Yet this is a guy who said, I want to go bigger. I want to go bigger than what I've done before. And if other people have done it, why not me? And this guy goes from a small, tiny 7-figure business to a mid 8-figure business in a handful of years. And it's just a perfect example of somebody who came from the community, did the work. Now they're a multi-decamillionaire.
Yeah, and bootstrap the whole thing.
Bootstrap the whole. I thought he had raised capital, but he didn't. He bootstrapped the whole thing.
Yeah, and really the whole episode is about his mindset, which I love. I love those kinds of conversations where it's about belief, it's about faith in what you're doing, and just a relentless commitment to doing it well.
You know what? I changed something in my behavior after I recorded this with Mike. Was I started writing out one goal that I thought was kind of impossible, and I just started finding evidence for it. On a daily basis. Like, is there something that happened today that gives me evidence for this to be true? And just training myself to look for it, to think about it. Because if I believe it, then I'll act in accordance of it. And the first conversation with Ben Hardy hit me so hard that Mike kind of wrestling with it with him allowed me to find some practical tools to train myself to believe the impossible goals. So that's why we have the 1-2 punch. So here's the clip of Mike talking about how all of his success is because it comes down to belief.
Because if I'm confident and if I believe myself, then everything becomes clear. And if I lose belief, I start to get foggy-headed and I get unsure. And then I listen to his advice and I listen to her advice, and you get this kind of mishmash of kind of strategy, and it's just horrible. And the best leaders, like, love him or hate him, Elon's a great example. He's just super self-belief, decides, does it, executes, creates chaos, goes again, and he just keeps on going, and he doesn't really doubt himself a lot, I imagine. A ton of examples that aren't as controversial, but I think that's the key. Confidence and belief in yourself.
So first we got Ben, then we go Mike, and then we go to
Carl Allen, thinking bigger.
Oh my goodness. This is one of the best we've ever done. I wanted to run through a wall after this episode. I actually conclude the episode by saying, I don't care if anyone ever listens to this episode because I got so much value out of it. God, man, we did such a good job this season.
You got to explain why, though. Why did you get so much value out of it?
Well, first of all, Carl, the theory... Words are so hard when I'm excited, man. The theme of this season is about going bigger. And Carl comes in and is like, oh, I'm just doing $1 billion roll up. And my initial reaction when he told me was like, yeah, go yourself. No, you're not. Everybody says that. And then he lays out the economics of it. It's like, oh, you really are building $1 billion roll up. And for him, it's normal. For him, it's just a process. It's just numbers and it's people, and he knows what to do because he's done it before. And so the flow of this season of having Benjamin Hardy set up impossible goal, Mike, oh, it's just about believing in your impossible goal. And then Carl is just like, impossible goals are normal to me. I break it down like this. All of a sudden you start to believe of your own capabilities, because you have this man doing these incredible things and it's just totally normal to him. And so he breaks down how he's building $1 billion portfolio, the numbers, the processes, the brands they're considering, and he just lays it out into a playbook. So For me, it was exciting because I want to buy more companies. I really love that playbook. But secondarily, even if I didn't want to follow that exact playbook of building $1 billion portfolio, it made me sit there and go, for somebody, my impossible goal is just another day. So if I can absorb that from somebody, if I can read those books, listen to those podcasts, if I can get around them in some way, for somebody, it's just Tuesday.
Yeah. It normalizes it for you.
It makes it not so crazy for me. It's not an average Tuesday for me, but it is for somebody. And that means that I can learn it. It means it's not impossible.
Yeah. This is a good combination.
I love it.
Tactical and also belief-oriented and mindset-oriented. I love that episode. Then we go to, I think, far more tactical, which is Ryan Dice.
Oh my goodness. This made me excited in my downstairs. That's what this episode did. Ryan was a very important mentor to me early in my career. There's a few people who totally changed the trajectory of my business career. Travis Sago, Ryan Dice. These guys were very involved in my formative years, if you will. And Ryan is basically converting all of those businesses that have matured since I met him into being AI first companies. And so when we look at going bigger, we have to look at the industry, the market that is probably going to lead all of us into whatever that bigger future is. And what I liked about what he said was that he was basically considering letting one of his companies die. And then they converted it into, well, what if we were a bit AI first or AI focused? And it completely changed the business.
Yeah.
That was the fire in my belly I needed to say, okay, we need to get serious about this at capitalism.com. Like we need to think about the fact that intellectual property, maybe even podcasting, may not be valuable to the world here in 18 months, if that? So how do we serve our people in a better way? And Ryan was the first person who made me not afraid of it. Because the way that he described it was there's actually opportunities to better serve your customers along their goals. And it requires me to be humbler about what I think is best for the company and actually just think about what is best for the customer. So as I'm thinking about thinking bigger and casting an impossible vision and believing in that, this was a practical one of where I need to reframe my attention moving forward. So his take on the state of AI, how they're using AI, how it is driving down costs and driving up profits in their businesses and across their portfolio was just fascinating and made me really bullish on the future.
Yeah, I agree. And also he talked about it in a way that wasn't scary. It was like,
right, it was encouraging.
I'm prioritizing my people, but we're using AI and we're AI first. We're not going to cut anyone, but it's AI first. You know, that was really cool. I like Ryan a lot. Then we go to Shaquille Prosa.
So Shaquille, I think, holds the record for most appearances on my podcast.
Really?
And because I've known him for so long, but this is the transformation that I've seen in Shaquille. So Shaquille DMs me before DMs were a thing. I don't remember how they got in touch with me, like a Facebook message or cold email or something, back in like 2013 or 14. And he's this dude, we met up at Kirby Lane. Kirby Lane got pancakes. And he just told me that he was, he had a couple of e-commerce companies and he was just excited to meet me because we were both in Austin. Now the dude is having 9-figure exits and multiple 8-figure exits. He shows up in my house. Was it a Lamborghini that he drove? Yeah. Drove in his Lamborghini. But what people don't see behind the scenes is that this man almost lost everything. And I think 2021 he did the going bigger thing. Mm-hmm. He set the impossible goal. He found the strategy and the tactics and he went for it and got punched in the face. Almost went bankrupt. And in the last 3 to 4 years, rebuilt everything to a new height. So this is one of those stories where some of us are, at least I am, maybe I'm just projecting when I say everyone. I think most of us are afraid to go bigger because we're afraid what will happen if it goes wrong. So Shaquille went for it, it didn't go so well.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a result, bounces back and hits new highs.
Yeah.
And it was just such a crazy reframe for me. Because I am afraid of losing it all.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then again, I've lost everything and made it all back. And now I'm not as afraid, but I'm still a little afraid. But I know that, but the conversation with Shaquille gave me confidence that if I went for it and I failed, I could make it all back. Or I could change the sales a little bit and go even bigger.
Yeah. And he did it through acquisition. He does it through, like, he has a bunch of these stores. The one beside your house.
Yeah, Shaquille literally owns the corner store in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like literally the store I walk to buy milk. Shaquille owns it. He owns half of Texas. I did not know he owned the store. I bought the house, I moved in, walked to the store, and then I saw him at an event and he's like, that's the worst Shaquille impression. Oh, I own the corner store there.
He doesn't even have an accent.
He doesn't sound like that at all, but I own the corner store over there. And I was like,
you're so canceled for this whole episode.
I am canceled?
You're canceled.
Wait, because I said I want to kiss Ryan Dice?
That was one of the many things that cancels.
So anyway,
Shaquille's great.
Shaquille owns the corner store, and he also owns like a bunch of e-commerce stuff and gloves.com. He just buys things.
Capitalist.
And he says that he wants passive income, but he owns all of these things. It's like he's the hardest working passive income guy in history. So in this season, we start with the impossible vision, thinking bigger. And then we have a case study of somebody who went from a small business to a really big business because of their mindset. Then we go through practical strategies and industry insights into how we can actually implement that. Then we have Shaquille, who goes from, -0 to positive millions. And then we come to Matt Verlock. And Matt, this was such a practical episode for those of you who follow any of my advice, or any of you who are in the 1%, or those of you who have e-commerce brands, those of you who have heard me talk about enterprise value, building a company to sell. This is a guy who scrapes a few nickels together and then casts a vision for a business and prepares for an exit, and it completely changes his life. Side note, Matt is actually Dan Martell's partner now. Mm-hmm. He wasn't when he had the success of building this business and having the exit, but he is now. So he's kind of known for being one of the guys behind the scenes in Dan Martell's business. But his actual story is guy starts a company, sets a vision, has an exit, and after going through it can come back and say, I wish I had done this differently on my climb up, which I so resonated with. Because if I had known then what I know now, I would have done so many things different about the business that I scaled and sold. And now I get to do it again because I own it again. But this is a beautiful case study of somebody who came from nothing, set an impossible goal, had the big exit, and now is saying, I wish I had known this along the way. Here's what he had to share.
The way that we leave money on the table during the sales process is you sell when you're tired of running the business. And then you already have all the scars from only putting in 70% of your best effort because you're already tired of running the damn thing. And then you're selling the best you can make it look. As much lipstick you can put on that thing, make it look pretty, negotiate the valuation. If your buyer knows what they're doing, they're going to see through it. You're going to pay a tax, right? If you can make a business that's awesome to run that you truly don't want to sell, it will be inherently more valuable because you are showing up and kicking ass every day. And that is the business that they're going to have to pry out of your freaking fingers with the right number. Like, that's what I mean. It's not a tactical thing. It's like you personally, as the founder, the business will reflect you if you build it right. And if you love the thing, then you're only going to sell it when it makes sense to sell something you love.
Yeah, this is really a masterclass in how to sell your business and structurally what to do when you're preparing to sell. Because he has a lot of regrets from that period of his life where he was like, I did all these things wrong. And if you just know what to do, in this case, you're going to do well.
I'm at this point in my career where I'm finally starting to listen to those things when people say, I wish I had done this differently. Because I'm in that stage of my career where I've done things for so long that now I'm starting to see my habits and patterns. And I can say, I need to do this thing a little bit differently. And one of the things that came up in that conversation with Matt was him talking about his partnerships and the people that he hires and the structure that he creates to incentivize people. And it made me look at how I recruit my people and my teams and how I really pigeon myself whole into a corner where I keep myself very busy. that was convicting to hear him talk about that. And it was one of those times where when somebody said, I wish I'd done this differently, I actually listened. So next we have
Cody Sanchez.
We hope.
We think. Fingers crossed.
We had her scheduled. She had to move it. We like to do these episodes after we've recorded all of the episodes. So we hope we'll reschedule. We hope to be Cody. Stay tuned. It's an Easter egg, ladies and gentlemen. You'll have to see. If we don't, we'll go on to the next best looking person on the podcast, and it's Ryan Lazarus. Do you remember when I told you how old he was?
Yes. My jaw dropped. It hit the floor.
How old did he say he was?
49, 48, 49?
And he looks like he's 30.
Yeah, like late 20s maybe.
Yeah, like 20 he does.
It's crazy.
He has like reversed backwards, I think. The reason I'm sharing that with you is because the way that we wanted to conclude this season was we spend the entire ramp up talking about impossible goals and vision and how you do it and strategy and acquisitions and how the big players play. But none of it matters if you lose your health, and you're probably not going to get there if you are not optimized. So Ryan Lazarus has one of those, he's a personal friend, and he has, I think, a practical approach to living a 1% life when it comes to health, fitness, energy, and becoming the person who is capable of building an 8 or a 9-figure vision, being the person who has the energy and the focus to be able to execute upon an impossible vision. So Ryan is the guy that I personally asked to come here and speak on that, because I knew that at the end of this season, we'd be all amped up on business and vision, but if we lost the plot in being the person that was capable of doing that, then we would have missed the point. And so Ryan comes in and speaks about how he takes his patients through a process to optimize energy, health, vitality, longevity, etc. And he looks the part. He looks like he's 29, and he's actually like, I think he said he was 149.
Yeah, I think that's what he said too.
I think that's right.
I liked Ryan's podcast a lot because so often as entrepreneurs, we can just forget that area of our lives because work becomes so important. And that's like most entrepreneurs that I know.
Well, that's how I met him.
Really?
Yeah, because I saw him at an event, and we went to lunch, and I was basically like, look, I'm doing really well in a lot of areas of life, but I'm tired and I'm not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And his answer was very different than what I expected, because he put me through his framework, and he basically convinced me that prioritizing fun and energy needed to be my job. That if I didn't, that I was so overemphasized in work, and everything on paper is great, but because I've been so focused on work and unfocused on relationships and fun and play, that it was basically draining the battery. And that I needed to overcorrect in the opposite direction in order to have the spark to be able to go play in business. And, that wasn't as easy as him telling me to take a supplement. But it was the advice that I needed. And so that's how I met him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And that concludes our second season of the podcast.
This is where we go bigger. This is a really good one. Please go subscribe. Like I have gone to battle on this season for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed as much as we enjoyed making it.
Yeah, and it's a public thing. We're just trying to boat race to 10,000 subscribers on that channel.
Boat race?
Boat race.
We're gonna boat race
fast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just speed running 10,000 followers.
Yeah, we're like starting over from scratch. We literally started over from zero.
It feels weird.
It does feel weird. I feel like I'm a noob again.
It's cool though.
But here's the thing: like starting over from zero, you don't have to take all the old way of how you've done it in the past.
Yeah.
Right. I probably wouldn't have been this loose.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hello everyone, welcome to
Business Ryan is here.
Yeah,
today.
really. What else do you want to talk about?
You just got back from Burning Man.
I did.
Let's talk about that. How'd that go?
Burning Man was fine. It was fine.
But the Playa, dude.
It was like so I'll tell you some good stories about the Playa. Does have some weird magical properties to it. Okay. So one of the things about Burning Man is like whatever you think about manifestation and stuff, like weird stuff happens where you can just think of something and it just happens. There was one story where I was with a friend and she said, what I would give for a big fuzzy blanket to just like fall on us right now. And within 30 seconds, and I know the person didn't hear us, a big fuzzy blanket got thrown over us. Like that kind of stuff just happens. What happened at this Burning Man was Tomer Hen from my partner on Switch sends me a text and he says, hey, Dave Asprey promoted Switch today and we had our record sales day. It's like, oh, that's really great. And I said, I'm going to find Dave Asprey at Burning Man, hug him, and tell him thank you for promoting Switch. I didn't know if Dave Asprey was at Burning Man. 4 hours later, I'm at a friend's camp, and they said, hey, do you know that guy over there? And I was like, oh, it's Dave Asprey. I was supposed to see him today. And I went over and gave him a hug and said, thanks for promoting Switch today. Wow. Yeah, that kind of stuff happens. Oh, another one. The next day I said, you know what I want to happen today? I want to run into a friend that I didn't know was at Burning Man. That night, guess who I ran into? Alina from season 1. Had no idea she was at Burning Man. Had no idea she was there.
Her business is doing so well that she's going to Burning Man.
She's doing so good. She's hanging out with Ryan Daniel Moran at Burning Man.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
So join the 1%.
You'll end up on the playa.
You too can dress up like a moron and ride bikes with me at Burning Man.
My favorite thing about seeing pictures of you at Burning Man is like, I know that you won't dress up crazy like that, so you're just wearing like normal clothes.
I'm just wearing like Walmart clothes. Yeah.
And that's like the most countercultural thing that you can do at Burning Man.
I get made fun of at Burning Man for dressing up in Walmart clothes.
Hey guys, I'm a teacher from the Midwest. All these freaking psychonauts and space
people
warriors.
spend such crazy amounts of money for stuff that's going to get muddy. And I'm like, I just want to ride my bike and see art and cool talks.
Yeah.
This is a real conversation I had at Burning Man. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hey, man, how you doing? Oh, dude, I'm so tired. Why? I don't know. Like, I didn't even go that hard last night. I only had 1.5 tabs of acid and a little bit of ketamine, and I was back by 5. And I was like, do you know what you just said? Like, what are you on? I'm like, granola? Like, I had granola for dinner. That's what I'm on.
I know so many people that go to Burning Man, and so it makes me slightly curious, but then
It's great. You got to go once, but you got to go with a group that's at your speed, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So, because it can be whatever you want. It can be a drug bender for 7 days, or it could be like my ideal day at Burning Man is I wake up and see the sunrise, and I'm like, what are all these people doing awake already? Oh, no, they're actually still awake from the night before. Mm-hmm. But I wake up, get a cup of coffee, watch the sunrise. I ride my bike around the playa and just see what happens. And it's amazing because after 3 days, I become a little kid in a candy store where I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm just going to ride my bike around and meet people and see what's going on. It's going to be great. But you got to be with people that are at that speed because quite honestly, this last one, most of the group that I wanted to be with was not at that speed. And so I just felt like I was being antisocial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you weren't in teleportation mode, and that's fine.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I get you. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
But
Maybe
you know what
someday.
has me more excited right now than anything else is I'm so nerding out on investing right now.
Yeah,
Like, I'm so nerding out. Like I feel like I'm 12 and I found a cool hobby.
Have you moved on from PayPal yet?
I have, but I don't want to.
You're not selling though.
No. So PayPal is still my investment in PayPal is now thousands of shares.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes up a large amount of my portfolio. And to add more shares would just be like an out of balance approach. But man, do I want to buy more because it's still so cheap. I want to buy as much PayPal as possible. But I have moved on to other investments.
This is not financial advice. Don't take any.
Oh yeah. I'm an idiot. Don't listen to anything I say.
Anyway, but what else? What else about investing is getting you?
I love the process of sitting down and having 8 things that I'm interested in. And now my rule is I can only invest in 1 stock per month. I have my monthly allocation. So those 8 companies are going to fight it out for what is the most underpriced, best investment for me, according to what I'm researching. And so it's like, I can only pick one. And once I pick, I tend to stick to that for a few months until it's overvalued or something else drops in value.
Yeah.
So like, for example, I would love to buy shares in Uber right now. Uber has an amazing price, profit. Sorry,
PE.
Yeah, has great PE, very low PE ratio. They're very profitable. Their new CEO is growing their profits. They look great, but they're not undervalued. They're like properly valued. So if they were to fall 20 to 30%, I'm all over it. But instead, I'm looking at something like Alibaba. Alibaba, I still think is undervalued. You know what I think is the most undervalued stock right now? I haven't invested in this yet because I just don't understand enough about the company. I have my story, but it's not like, I don't intimately know this company, so it doesn't make sense for me to like move into this one. Novo Nordisk,
Is that a pharmaceutical company?
the maker of Ozempic.
Oh.
So Ozempic is the brand name, but you have all these other companies that have competitors, right? So what's the name of Eli Lilly's semaglutide? Or nobody knows,
clue.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Ozempic has the brand name, but the other companies have the competitors. But if you look at Novo Nordisk's financials, if you go back to the year before Ozempic was released, so if you take out all of the profits and sales of Ozempic, they're still undervalued to those numbers. So the market has said, oh, Ozempic's no longer king of the market. So the stock has tanked. It's fallen.
It's fallen a lot.
You have the chart?
Yeah, I
picked up?
do. Its high was 142, and now it's at 55.
So that's like 75%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why did it fall? Because Ozempic is no longer the preferred GLP-1. But if you just take it out of their profits, they're undervalued at this price. So it's like there's a great story and numbers there. But I didn't make an allocation because it's a new awareness for me. I'm still studying that company.
And you're still following your plan
Correct.
of the S&P 500, and then
I make an allocation every month into index funds, then one stock, and then if I've got extra, then I'll allow myself to buy a speculative play. So like this last month, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is always going to be a speculative play because it doesn't produce profit. So if I'm going to buy Bitcoin, it has to be from the excess cash after I put it into index funds, after I make one placement, then I can buy Bitcoin. Or then I can buy that stock that, I think is going to moon. There's the one stock, MindBend. Do you know them? MindMed.
yeah.
They're the psychedelic research company. They're super interesting. Be super interesting for me to take a flyer on. But that would have to come out of my speculative bucket, right? They're impossible to value. It's totally speculative. I invested in a co-working space here in Austin, and I plan on using it. I think it'll make my life better being there. That came out of my speculative bucket. So I have to hit my minimums, and then I can go into the speculative stuff.
Yeah. Step 0 to that whole thing is build a business that produces
money.
enough income for you to actually invest things and cover your lifestyle. Yeah. I'll be there one day too. I'll be there. I'll be.
You're pretty close.
Ryan.
You're pretty close.
No, I could do the speculative stuff, but I'm talking about you write a blog article about what was the title?
The Billionaire Next Door.
Yeah, what was the title of the first one though? I invested $135K into
These three stocks.
These
or
three
something like
stocks.
that. Yeah, that was a blog post I did.
someday.
Oh, you like that? Okay, got it.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean,
I am investing more money than I'm making right now.
explain that.
Yeah, so I have a couple things, and I planned for this when I started this plan 2 years ago. Is I had the target that I wanted to invest, and I knew that over a period of time, unless I made a lot of cash flow, that I would be draining my savings. And so there are months that the business is really profitable and I replenish everything that I invested. most months, at least for the last 3 months, capitalism.com had a down. Our summer was not fun. Like we had some people resign. Our sales went down. We lost some salespeople. It's not been a fun summer, cash flow wise. We're on the up and up again, but it's been blech. So I didn't have those same distributions as I normally have. So I've been taking money from savings and being my investing plan. Now, what I'm weighing there is it a better move for me to have it in the bank account or in the number one most researched stock on my watch list? Kind of makes sense for me to have it in the most researched stock on my watch list, at least long term, right? And so if I were to keep happening and my savings were to drain, what I would do is I would sell my speculation bucket and I would put it into my long-term bucket.
Got it.
So I would basically reallocate into the thing that I'm never, ever going to sell, which is index funds and my highest conviction stocks.
So you're just making sure that you hit that number every month.
Yeah.
Regardless of if it's coming from income or savings
Correct.
or whatever, it's just
Correct.
going into the market.
Yeah, I have to put in 10 to 15 grand a month into index funds, no matter what.
Yeah.
And you run the numbers over the course of my lifetime, that becomes $100 million.
That's good, man. That's good. I feel like when I have seasons where the distributions go a little bit drier, I just stop the investing.
Yeah, you get
And
a
I
little
start
scared.
saving. Right.
Right.
And so then I look up and I'm like, wow, this year I haven't invested that much because I've been focused on growth in other areas. But then recently I've started to be like, actually, I feel really good when I do hit that investment number, regardless of what the business is doing. Right. So kind of adopting the same way that you're thinking.
Yeah,
about
it's because
too.
it's my $100 million plan that if everything else were to fall to shit, I still have my $100 million plan. So
Lets you relax a little bit.
what's that?
Lets you relax a little bit.
Yeah, now I can be choosy about what I do.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell. Do you know how many times in the last 3 months that I've been like, fuck all this shit. We're going back to just doing a podcast. Like once a week. And I have the option to do that now. Doesn't mean I'm going to pull that trigger tomorrow, but there have been times where I'm like, I don't want to do these 9 things in the business anymore. I wish it was just a podcast again. And I actually have that option now.
Because of that plan.
Because of my investment plan. Because all that ever has to happen is I need to make $10,000 to $15,000 a month that I can invest. It's very doable. Like if everything went to hell, that's one small e-commerce brand or 3 clients. So that's my $100 million plan. Now I don't need to have a $100 million company or a $100 million idea, but I can choose to have them. By the way, I'm only saying advice that I probably need to hear right now. When I was at Burning Man, Sam and I spent Sam Prentice is my partner on the fund. We spent some really good time together where he shared with me. He said, Ryan, you don't need to build from fear anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you've made it to a certain extent, but you got to this point building from fear, meaning, you didn't have money, you built something, you didn't want to be poor. And the approach to that was what gave me skills to bootstrap and hustle and sell. And it gave me these skills. But he's like, but you don't have to keep building from that perspective. You can build from the perspective of you just want to. And in my mind, I was like, well, I already want everything that's on my plate. Like I want to do the podcast. I want to do this brand. I want to do this. Everything on my plate now is stuff I want to do. But the way I'm approaching it is still with the perspective of, because I don't want it to go away. Rather than I want it to exist and grow. And it makes me happy that it's there. And that's something I've been playing with since I got back is I noticed that on the days that I'm really grumpy, it's because I'm operating from this perspective of, oh no, what if this goes away? And when I'm happy, it's just like, I just want to do this thing. I just want to do this thing. Like I just wanted to do this episode today. And I'm not a nasty pants today.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So I'm observing things from that perspective right now.
That's a good lesson.
So having the investing plan is allowing me to think about things from like I just want it to exist.
Yeah. Frees you up a lot, which is nice.
For the 19 of you that still listened to this part, leave a comment. What do you want to see in season 3? What theme or topic? You know, we can see the board from here. I can, because we've thrown some ideas at the board for season 3. Public CEOs, because I'm fascinated by public companies right now.
Investing.
The state of blank, like the state of AI. I think that's the one that we're gonna do.
Really?
I do. Yeah, I'm just predicting.
State of AI.
Like no. Like an episode of the state of AI.
Oh, I understand.
The state of the economy, the state of e-commerce, the state of politics. Just bringing in experts on each and doing a state of season. That's the one I think I don't know yet. Taking $1 million case studies from our audience and saying, where are they now? Okay, like you've been on the podcast before. Where are you now? The one that you really like is positive politics. I mean, are there people in the world who have an optimistic view? And then one that I want to do this at some point. I just want to do it is I want to bring influencers in and I want to help them with their business.
Like Shark Tank for influencers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, tell me what you're working on and let's make this a thing. Let's build it.
I like that a lot. I like that as a YouTube series as well. I think that could be really cool.
So do any of these tickle your fancy? Do any of these make you feel like Ryan Dice makes me feel in my inside? If so, put them in the comments and we'll see what we do. Please stay here for season 2. Subscribe to the channel. This is some of our best work ever. And I think you're going to love it.
You know what? You should finish off by just talking about what's happening in capitalism.com world, because I don't know. We don't know, Ryan. We, the audience, don't know what's happening in capitalism.com world. How's the 1%? How's Capitalism Incubator?
The 1% is doing freaking great.
Yeah. Tell me about some
The
stories
incubator has
from there.
been really slow. So we've spent the last 3 years just focusing on the 1%.
Yeah.
And we are getting awesome results. I mean, last week we had 2 people cross 100K a month for the first time.
And wasn't one of them their first month in business? Am I getting that wrong?
No, that's not right.
I thought somebody launched and had 100K in their first month.
No, if that's a story, I don't know about it. I mean, that has happened, but I don't know one recently. I know 2 longer term clients that have crossed 100K a month for the first time. And we're just getting insane results. My conviction's really high. The community is just growing. It's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Like if you're in e-commerce, it's like some of the best money you'll spend. If you want to build $1 million business, you should just join the 1%. You should just do it. The incubator has been slow, very slow. It's just been very slow. The team has done a good job of preventing me from selling something until it's 10 out of 10 excellent. And because the 1% can pay for the entire business now, we haven't rushed a product that isn't awesome. And so it's just now at the point where like, okay, we'll allow a few people to go through this. We gave them a really sweetheart deal. They were private invitations to people who are going through the incubator. We want to make sure they get incredible results before we launch this publicly. If you have an e-commerce business that is doing at least $1 million a year and you want to test these processes for a sweetheart deal, email me at ryan@capitalism.com. But it's moving slower than I would like. Like I want to launch this thing and put 50 people in there, but instead we got a handful that we're going to get great results for.
Yeah.
It's not my normal style. My style is to launch things and then figure out what we're doing.
Blitz and build the plane as it's flying.
Yeah. We had a tough summer financially. Sales just fell off a cliff for a while. We're rebuilding our sales team. That's been a really big process. It's not a process I like. Those are the days I'm like, you should just have a podcast again. What is all this other shit? So that's been a journey.
Yeah. But now we're in September. We move through the rest of the 2025.
Yeah, I do still think about what if it was just a podcast. Well, right now I'm looking for a head of sales. somebody who can and free me up for thinking about revenue creation so I can just think about creating amazing stuff for our clients.
Cool.
You want to go ride a jet ski?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to go ride some jet skis. Thanks for being here, everybody. Pay attention to season 2. It's really good. Okay. Bye.
Bye.